And hello, everyone, and welcome back to Cyrus Webb Presents and Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. For our radio audience tuning in at WYAD 94.1 FM and WYADonline.com, we're glad that you all can be with us. Also, those joining us through Cyrus Webb Presents all over social media. We're streaming on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, X, as well as on Instagram. Appreciate you guys being with us. ESP Presents, I see you guys over there on IG. Herschel Dixon, hello to you. Good to be able to see you. Marcy says, hello to you over on the IG side. We are live here. Jesus Black Man, thank you so much for being with us as well. So we have a great show coming up for you guys today. As you can tell, we have a full panel. This is going to be an audio-only show today, but we are still interactive. So if you guys are joining us on the various social media channels, we do have the chat open for you. There's a very special virtual conference going on this Saturday. That's May the 4th. It is the Imagine the Possibilities Women's Empowerment Virtual Conference. We're excited to welcome the founder of the conference, Melissa Banks, back to our broadcast. And joining us also are some of the presenters. We have Chanel Coleman-Wesley, Dr. Velma Bagby, Tina Siemens. We have Angela Anderson and Shatoria Christian. We're going to talk to them not only about the conference, what it's been like for them to use their platform to inspire others, but also what you all can expect as well. Ladies, hello to you and welcome to the broadcast.
Hello. Thank you for having us.
Hello.
Hello, Cyrus.
Hello.
Glad you all could be with us. This is a little different than what we're used to, but I appreciate you all being with us. Just to let our radio audience know, we were having some tech challenges on the radio side of our program online, so we decided to be able to do this broadcast a little bit different. For our radio audience here in Mississippi, you guys won't know anything. For our audience that's wondering where is everyone, you guys will know. That's why you'll see in the broadcast a little bit later. Ladies, I'm going to get to all of you, but Melissa Banks, I want to kick things off with you. As I mentioned, the Imagine the Possibilities Women's Empowerment Virtual Conference, this is the third that is coming up this Saturday, May the 4th. How does it feel to have it just days away, Melissa?
Wow, I'm super excited. I feel like my body is jumping all over the place. I'm so anxious to hear all the journeys that we'll be able to hear, the excitement. You know, Cyrus, every year, the morning of the event, the excitement and the energy level is over the top. Well, mine is already there, so I'm going to try to calm it down a little bit until we get to Saturday, but I'm super excited and can't wait to hear from these ladies.
So let's go back, Melissa. As I mentioned, this is the third. Chris, hello to you. Chris is joining us on the Facebook side. He says congratulations to you, Melissa. So I want to talk about how this all began. How did the conference come about?
Well, you know, Cyrus, I am passionate about inspiring and pouring into women to just believe in themselves. So many women that I talked to just didn't believe in themselves. And because they didn't believe in themselves, they weren't able to push through when challenges came. You know, it's often easy to see it or to feel it when everything's going great and it's right there. But when you have to just believe in your gut, you have to believe in you, it's really hard. And I found that women, even more so than others, will just stop. We're so hard on ourselves and we're so afraid that we will just stop in our tracks right there. So I wanted to be able to pour into women. And another thing that I found is when women hear from other women, it's amazing how that just changes everything within them. It helps them to believe because they see other women do it. So this was such a powerful way to bring in not just my thoughts and what I go through, but the other women that'll be there, that it wasn't all great days. Every day I wasn't jumping up and down and celebrating. And I'm sure the other ladies can say that as well. There was some tough stuff you have to push through and keep going. But it all starts with believing in yourself and surrounding yourself with people who inspire and push you. So it's all about what you get, what's poured into you. And so that's how it all began.
Love that. Love that. I want to say hello to you, Spinksman. Good to be able to see you. It's been a while. He's joining us on the IG side. Teresa Merritt Watson, hello to you. Good to be able to see you as well, a fellow author. Well, Melissa, this is coming at a perfect time. May is recognized for a lot of things. Mental Health Awareness Month. It also is National Women's Health Awareness Month as well. And we know that, as you were just saying, especially for women, it's so important for them to make sure that they are able to not only to know their own worth and value, but also to share that with others. And I can personally say I've had an opportunity to interview each one of your presenters that you have this year. Glad to call them friends. So I'm going to go ahead and get to talk to them a little bit. Angela Anderson, I'm going to start with you. I mean, it has been amazing watching your journey Angela, what is it like for you to be a part of this amazing group of women to be able to pour into individuals at this conference?
Oh my goodness, Cyrus. I am with Melissa. I am super, super excited. And I definitely agree with her. What better way than women supporting women? May, Tuesday is also in May as well. So it's anytime that we have the opportunity to connect with women, to share our stories, to encourage women to let them know that they can do and be all that they can do is amazing. So I'm super duper excited to be here. And thanks again, Melissa Banks, for this opportunity to be here with all these amazing speakers as well.
Yeah, Angela, I want to stay with you for a second. We're going to go around the table here. I mean, you have been able to build a platform, but you've been able to spotlight others. Why has it been so important for you, Angela, to not only be able to see your own goals and dreams realized, but also to support other people in reaching their goals and dreams?
Well, one of the things, Cyrus, I know for me is I'm a giver and I love to see, for me, get excited about that too. So I look at it as a team. And so not only am I doing what I do in excellence, but to be able to help other women to do the same thing, it's just such a joy from the inside out that for me, I always just enjoy seeing other women win.
Yeah, Tina Siemens, I appreciate you being on with us. You have a very busy May and June coming up. But Tina, what has it been like for you to use your platform, to use what you're doing as an author, as a speaker, as the owner of a museum, to be able to inspire and encourage others?
Thank you so much, first of all, for having me on. It's truly an honor. And to your question, it is beyond my wildest dream. If even 5 years ago, if they would have told me that I would be on virtual conferences like this, I would have said it can't be. But not only the growth in myself, but for me to be able to pour out my passions, my love of history, and give that to others is just absolutely a joy. Every time I have an audience that comes to the museum, whether it's one person or a group of 20, for me to share the love of looking back into history and connecting the dots to current situations, and for me to just see how they light up. I had one lady tell me this week that I wish you would have been my history teacher. I would have so much more enjoyed history. So it's such a joy for me to be able to share my passion, and that there's people that are willing to give their time. Like Melissa said, we as women, we go through so many things, but if we can be an encouragement to each other, then I think our passions and our love for life itself comes through in everything that we do.
Right. I know, Tina, from reading your story in Seminole, Some People Never Give Up, you have a lot of strong women in your lineage. You yourself are a strong woman. What has that been like for to share with other women, how they can be able to be strong in their lives and to achieve things they may not have thought possible?
Well, my motto is never give up. My mom was my role model in this. She was a very simple yet powerful woman. She's been gone 16 years, but her legacy lives on through me. And then if I talk to people, like, she made such an impact with her smile and with her words of encouragement. So for me to carry on her legacy to the next generation, especially my granddaughters and my grandsons as well, but it's such a joy to, and it's also a responsibility that we have as women to not hold in what we've been given, because a gift is only a gift when you give it away, then it increases in value. So for me to just be able to share with other women uh, the struggles and also the highlights, it is truly wonderful to see them respond with I can take away a lesson from that, and that then I feel that I've accomplished what I was born to do.
Yeah, love that. We're going to talk more about that. Dr. Velma Bagby, even though you sided with Melissa earlier, I'm going to go to you next and ask you a similar question. What has it been like for you, Dr. Velma, to be able to use your platform not only to educate, but to motivate?
Well, It's been wonderful. I'm excited about the whole idea because I was one of those women who at one time needed a conference like this. I was one of those. And so to get to this place in my walk and in my assignment, I'm excited about what I've been able to accomplish and the people that I met. And I just want to first say thank you to Melissa for allowing us this platform. I'm excited. I was excited when I heard about the other speakers. All of these women are dynamic. Angela Anderson, I've known her since my early journey as an author, and she was the one that directed me towards you, Cyrus. So I'm excited
Hmm.
about the people that God has placed in my path that help me connect with the people I need to connect with.
Exactly. So true. Dr. Bama, just let you know, you got muffled there right at the end, but I heard the majority of what you said there. I want to stay with you for another question, Dr. Bama, because again, this conference is all about being able to empower others. What
Okay.
has that been like for you to share with the importance of not only, of course, pouring into others, but also make sure you're taking care of yourself?
Well, I started out with the focus on helping women to discover their perfect mate. However, I found over time that it wasn't about discovering the perfect mate. It really was about them getting themselves ready to meet the right person because many were broken and or in places where they just were not ready to meet anyone. They had to do a self-examination. It was time for self-examination to find out where you are, to embrace your self-worth. Many of them didn't even have an idea of their value. So I found that that was important. And so as over time, this is what I built, a platform to make sure that women understood who they were and their value so that they can be the perfect mate before even meeting the mate that's right for them. So it just moved in stages.
Yeah. I want to say, Spinksman says, thank you, ladies, for your inspiration to others and your personal growth. ESP Presents says, congratulations, ladies. So proud of you all. I'm going to go next to Chanel Coleman Wesley. Chanel, you literally have written the book. She said yes to herself unapologetically. What has it been like for you to use that book as part of your movement, Chanel, to help empower women?
Oh, well, thank you, Cyrus. I'm so excited that Melissa extended the opportunity for me to be able to be on this amazing panel with so many phenomenal women. Um, just being a source to be able to be a light to other women who are struggling to find themselves, to find power in their voice, to recognize the brilliance that God has placed within them has just been such an empowering point in itself. And so I'm just thankful to be in a space where we're motivating, encouraging, and empowering women.
Yeah. You know, Chanel, we all have heard the saying, if it was easy, everybody would be doing it. So, what we're talking about here when it comes to empowering others, encouraging ourselves, it sounds good, but it is not easy. What has it been like for you to share the journey of it? Because you literally have shared the journey of getting to a place where you could love yourself and respect yourself. What has it been like for you to share with others the importance of that?
Cyrus, it has really literally been a game changer. I think that sometimes when people see you on a platform or you have a way to be able to communicate things, I think people just naturally tend to assume that you have all the things together and that nothing has gone wrong. And being able to dismantle that idea has just been something that's been breathtaking and a release for me. When people are able to see that most times that speakers and authors have gone through their own various trials and struggles and they've had to overcome their own mountains. And so it puts you in a space where you're no longer on the mountaintop, but you're right in the valley with the reader or with the people that you're speaking to, and you're able to walk with them through that journey and take them back up onto the mountaintop. And so for that, for me, has been transformational.
Love that. We're going to get more into your work as well. Shatoria Christian, we're going to go next to you. I mean, it's been very interesting for me to follow your journey. I got to know you through your book, Authentic Transparency. If you guys haven't read it, you guys definitely have to get it on Amazon or wherever you buy your books, but it's on Amazon. But she also has a podcast where she's been able to share her story as well. Shatoria, what has that been like for you to not only to be transparent, but show the freedom that comes from that?
Well, thank you, Cyrus. But first of all, I definitely got to thank Miss Melissa for this beautiful platform with these beautiful women of God. That's for sure. And thank you, Cyrus. It is good to be with you again. Um, so for me, being transparent, I think that is the greatest gift that you can have is being absolutely open and honest and allowing people to see the realness of actually what life looks like. It is an opportunity to be honest, to be open, and to just being yourself. I feel like if I cannot be transparent, then I cannot be honest with what God has done and what He's doing. And so it allows me to be free from other people, but at the same time to be real about what I am trying to do in life.
Yeah. And so for yourself, Shatori, having read your book, I know your journey that you've been able to share publicly, and I know you speak about it as well. This is a lot of people, and just to let the ladies know, I'm going to talk to all of you about this point. I'm going to talk to Shatori about. A lot of people try to hide the scars. They try to hide the wounds, because they feel like that shows weakness. What has it been like for you, Shatoria, to realize the strength in embracing your story and sharing that?
Oh my God. So I honestly did not realize that telling my story wasn't for me, it was for people around me. As a teacher, to have students who read my story because for them, it holds value to what they're going through. And the
Yeah,
biggest thing I had to learn is yes, I went through it, but it's not my story to hold on to. And so to watch people, not just women, but people read my book and understand what forgiveness looks like, that's big for me. To know that forgiveness holds so much weight to someone's life. So to watch people transform into the freedom that they're desiring, that right there within itself make me feel good about just being open.
love that. Love that. I want to say for those who are just tuning in, welcome. You're listening to Conversations Live on the radio side here in Mississippi at WYAD 94.1 FM and WYADonline.com. Also through our online affiliates as well via podcast. Glad you all could be with us. But also, we're streaming online on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, X, and on Instagram. And appreciate you all being with us. We're speaking today with Melissa Banks, Chanel Coleman Wesley, Dr. Velma Bagby, Tina Siemens, also Angela Anderson, and Shatoria Christian, you just heard there. They are presenters at the upcoming Imagine the Possibilities Women's Empowerment Virtual Conference. You can see the information there for those who are watching us. For those who are listening to us, we have all the information that will be listed with this post. It's coming up on Saturday, May the 4th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. So, Melissa, I want to go to you and then to the other ladies about the question I just mentioned and how it ties into the panel. Because the thing that all of these women have in common is they know what it's like to go through stuff, right? Their stuff may be different from each other, but it's still stuff that people can relate to. What has it been like for you, Melissa, to embrace the stuff that makes your story unique and to realize the power in sharing that?
Well, Cyrus, the first time I've ever shared my story publicly, because for the very long time I thought my story was something you talked about in private. So if I ran into women in the bathroom or in shopping, and I was always pouring into them, but to share my story, I haven't been doing that very long. In 2019 was the first time that I stood on a stage and shared any parts of my story. But what I discovered that day, that it was so powerful to just share the stuff that I pushed through, the stuff that I had to overcome to just stand on that stage. So it was empowering and uplifting to me, but even more impactful to the 200 plus women that were sitting in the audience that heard my story for the very first time. They were empowered, they were pushed, they were not the same as when they sat down there. And I think that's what our story is about. To Shatoria's point, is my story today is to empower others. I'm not standing in my story, I'm standing on my story, because my story is what gets me out of bed. My story that I can pour into others is what gets them up on those days that their own situation can't get them up. So it's been the most empowering journey that I've ever went through, and I continue to be empowered by others with my story.
Yeah. What about for you, Tina? You've shared, the highs and lows that your family experienced. What has it been like for you to realize the strength in sharing that and how it can help others?
I always say a scar is a healed wound. Every human being has a wound somewhere in their history, in their past. And if we can relate to others and have them relate to us, I always say we have much more similarities than we have differences. And as women, we all go through the same daily grind, the same health issues, the same ups and downs during our childbearing years or during early marriage. There's so many stages in our lives. If we can share that, I just think, like, when I first shared my story, so many of them came up and said, I would have never guessed that you went through something like that. And to be raw and real in front of other women, I think that just gives them like a platform, like Melissa said, standing on top of our story, stepping into our story of being real and raw with other women. It just empowers them to say, we are in it together. And so for me, that has been powerful, for just to be raw about what I've gone through or what I'm still going through in many days, because we are all very active women, and if we're not afraid to share our ups and downs, I think that just gives power to other women that look upon us as we have things together. Even like Satan is everywhere. He is working harder on us women that are trying to do our very best to be successful. He doesn't want to, and so therefore we have to work even harder to saying, I am going to persevere.
Yeah, such a great point. Hello to you, 1425 JP on IG. Hello to you, Devontae Riley. Good to be able to see you over on the IG side. Also, Pierre Ingram, good to be able to see you as well. You all are listening and watching to Cyrus Webb Presents and Conversations Live today. We're talking to the speakers and presenters of the Imagine the Possibilities virtual conference here that's coming up this Saturday. I just was speaking with Melissa and also Tina about using their scars, using their past to help others. I'm going to ask you a similar question, Angela. What has it been like for you to take what could be the difficult moments in life and use that as teachable moments for others?
For me, kind of similar to what some of the other ladies have been saying too. I've always thought about it that, and of course, I haven't always been there, but I have gotten to a point where I have realized that some of the things that I've gone through, that they weren't necessarily for me, that they were for somebody else. So even though I was the one that had to go through it, in sharing my story or either giving my testimony to to other women or what have you, that may have been that very seed that they needed to let them know that they too can go through it, and they too can come out on top and win.
Yeah, such a great thing. Dr. Velma, what about for yourself? What has it been like for you to use the challenges and struggles in life to empower others?
It's definitely in my conversation and every opportunity that I have to speak to the women I mentioned earlier that I'm passionate about working with, because I had to deal with that even as a child. Most of my challenges happened growing up, moving into adulthood, in a world that said that because I was born in a family of 8 with a single mother, the world that says that because of the neighborhood I lived in, it wasn't sufficient for me to be worth anything. I kept going back to what my mother spoke into my life when she said that I should always walk with my head up. And my father, who named me Princess, that was my nickname, a royal name. And so as I went through life, many places that I had to travel began to chip away at the things that my parents said I was. And so as I began to grow older, even into adulthood, beginning my career, I was the only African American deputy administrator in all of the state of in Northern California. And I remember hearing the rumor of my being a token walking into the door. And I said, well, if I'm a token, I'm going to be the best token you ever seen. And so I know what that looks like, having to fight to keep what you see as your value, what you know as your value. And so that's one of the reasons, that's the place I start with my conversations with women in terms of looking for a mate, creating a list that they can't even pass. So it's important to start right there, embracing who you are, embracing who God called you to be, the value and your worth and who he says you are. Embracing and accepting all of that is the beginning of this walk. And I think it's important.
Yeah, such an important thing. Chanel, same question to you. What has it been like for you to use the challenges, the struggles, and the scars to be able to show other women what's possible to get out of?
I agree with
I
Tina.
love this question, Cyrus, because I feel like, healing just truly comes in stages. And I think that when you're being transparent about your experiences and you're sharing moments of setback, moments where you've had to smile through tears, moments where you've had to dig deep, moments when you had to check back into life, when you really felt like checking out. And I think on a human spectrum, we can all relate to that, no matter what our pedigree looks like, where we come from, where we currently are in life. I think we can all relate to those ups and downs. And so sharing those moments gives us a time where we have commonality. It allows us to be able to see that if this person has done it, that it's possible. Because I think sometimes you can just get so caught up in your circumstances and you can feel as if all hope is lost. And how do you do this thing if and I think sometimes we're just so used to seeing polished pictures and we expect,
Hmm.
everything in life to look picture perfect. And so being
Yeah.
able to share an experience where we can see that someone else's story wasn't always, sunshines and rainbows, but that they had some clouds, that they had some terrible moments that they had to get past. But now that they're past it, that you too can get past it. So I think it just allows us to have a moment where we can say that if they did, I can do it too.
Love that. Spinksman on IG says, agreed, embracing whom God has called you to be. Really shows how important it is. Leisha Sadler, good to be able to have you with us as well. Leisha's also one of the presenters for the Imagine the Possibilities virtual conference coming up this Saturday. Leisha, I want to start off asking you about your platform. What has it been like for you to build your platform of media, entertainment, but also education and inspiration to be able to help to inspire and empower others?
It's been a journey. It really has. I'm a radio host, and I always ask about a goal moment. And a goal moment is when thought and execution come together. Because most of the time, we think about what we want to do. It'll be in our spirit, but we don't move our feet right away. We don't do what's needed to be done right away. We don't start the process right away. It takes that moment in time where we are struggling and we are just fed up and tired for us to say, okay, God, just however you want me to go, whatever you want me to do, that's what I'm going to do. Um, and I always say that's called a switch up because God always, and I just feel like when there's that change in your life, it's so intense that you got to move your feet. You got to move your feet to keep yourself going. And for me, I had to move my feet. I had to move my feet no matter what. And I had to keep going. And that's what I did. And I think with having that tenacity, having that strength, and just being steadfast in my vision, it's made me grow more as a woman, and it's made me grow more as a person. And the inspiration comes along the way as people watch you grow. They see your growth. They see the things that you do. They see your determination. And depending on where they are in that point in time in their life, it encourages them to keep going as well.
Such a great point. The question I was just asking everyone, Leisha, I'll ask you as well, and that is, a lot of times we want to hide our scars. We want to kind of hide our mistakes, right? But I have learned, and I think all of the panels have said this so well, that is where the lessons are. That's where the empowerment is. What has it been like for you to embrace those moments that other people may try to hide and use them to inspire and empower others?
Man, so to hide those scars, to hide those things that you kind of don't want people to see, we're imperfect people looking for perfection from other people.
Yeah.
We're gonna be imperfect. We are flawed. We're not gonna be perfect. And first, you have to give yourself grace before
Yeah.
you can inspire anybody else. Before you can encourage anybody else, you have to give yourself everything that you want to give somebody else. And all the things that you expect or that you're desiring from someone else, you have to give to yourself first so that you can draw those things into you. I think for me, it wasn't the hiding that drew people in, but it was the movement. It
Yeah.
was people seeing me go through what I had to go through, and it wasn't easy. It's still not easy, but I think a lot of times we find ourselves negotiating with God. It's like, well, if you come with me over here, and we just do this right here, God, if we just do this right here, and it's like anything that you want God to be part of, you have to keep him in the midst of. And when you stop putting him in the midst because he didn't tell you to do it, it's gonna fall apart.
Wow. So powerful and such a great thing. And so this is giving everyone just a taste of what you all can expect at the Imagine the Possibilities Women's Empowerment Virtual Conference this Saturday, May the 4th. You all can easily see the information. You can't say you didn't see it. That's the only thing you've seen this whole show. If you watch this, you see the information there. You know all the presenters. You basically know everyone. You're part of the family at this point. You also see the website you can go to be able to get your ticket. Hey, man, it's well good to be able to see you as well. So, Melissa, I want to ask you as we wrap up here. Again, glad you all could join us for the radio and the online side of our broadcast today. What is your hope, Melissa, that people take away from the conference?
Well, my hope, thank you, ladies. You ladies were just so amazing. I'm so excited to hear the rest of your stories. And thank you, Cyrus, for having us today. It just put my excitement over the top. I hope that every single person that decides to join that virtual room Saturday or listen to the replay will be pushed in some type of way. That thing that's been stopping them along the way, that they find a way to just do something to move past that. We do want to inspire you, and our stories will inspire you. We do want to motivate you to get excited about your dream and your life, but we also want to push you into action. We want to be there for your breakthrough. We want to see you creating the life that you want and deserve. And I believe that if you show up in that room Saturday, somebody is going to say that thing you just need to hear to go a little bit further. You're going to pull from some of those stories that you hear, and it's going to give you that power, the power that you already have. You just have to recognize your power to move forward in your life and create the life that you want and deserve.
All right. She has that pitch down, y'all. I think she's been practicing that. Again, everyone, Melissa Banks, Chanel COVID, Wesley, Dr. Velma Bagby, Tina Siemens, Leisha Sadler, Angela Anderson, Jatoria Christian, the speakers at this year's Imagine the Possibilities Women Empowerment Virtual Conference coming up this Saturday, May the 4th. Ladies, thank you all so much for being on with us. Melissa, last thing, how can our audience be able to get a ticket to join you all on Saturday?
Okay, awesome. He's already said May 4th, 10 to 2. You can get a ticket. You can just go to themelissabanks.com. It's that first link. Click on it. It takes you right to the page where you can grab your ticket. And of course, your ticket includes the replay. So even if you don't have time available from 10 to 2 on Saturday, you can listen later and be empowered just as much. That's themelissabanks.com.
I want to share. I just saw, ladies, the comments that you all were saying in the private chat. Shatoria says, yes, that comment, go moment. I'm in that moment. And Tina says, often it's only baby steps, but it's so important that we move in the forward motion. That is such a great thing. And ladies, so proud of all of you. It's been great watching all of your rise, all of your successes, all of your wins. Thank you so much for sharing your platforms with the world, and looking forward to our next conversation together.
Thank you so much for having us, Cyrus.
Thank you, Cyrus.
Thank you, Cyrus.
Okay, more than welcome. Hey, you're welcome. And we thank you, our audience, for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live and Cyrus Webb Presents. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live. Let us go make today amazing. Take care.